Hey YouTube, Awesome Writer here. Welcome to my next video in my What I Want to See Out of series, with Sentai being the topic for this one, what I want to see out of 2024 and beyond. Obviously, we're about to enter a big anniversary year. We're going to celebrate 50 years on the 49. I know it's the 50th year, but I still think they're jumping the gun. Like, the only good reason I've seen is them saying that they wanted to sync it so that writer and Sentai anniversaries aren't so close together, which is probably a good idea, but I still feel like we've been perpetually celebrating an anniversary since forever. Like, it's always something. But I do think that's the only reason. Like, all the stuff about, like, oh, they're trying to fix it because Pat Ranger and Lupin Ranger are ruining the numbering. Like, Zenkaiger is the 46th Sentai now. Like, this is like the stupid numbering of the Doctor discourse. Like, oh, is Eccleston the 10th Doctor now? It's like pathetic fan nonsense. Like, I don't think that had anything to do with it. If anything, if anyone thought about that at Toei, it was just an excuse. So I really do think, like, there's probably legitimacy that they wanted to desync the anniversaries, but I really think that they wanted to celebrate early. I would be shocked if they didn't be like, look, we can celebrate early because it's technically 50. And I would be shocked if they didn't do something next year too, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. So obviously, we have the rest of Boom Boomger to get through. I hope it sticks the landing. Like, as of this recording, the last few episodes have been pretty disappointing for us being in the last 10 episodes, but it's been an okay series. I hope it sticks the landing and has a good ending. But as far as Gozyuger, I don't want to say I'm in the middle, because, like, I'm actually pretty excited for it. Like, I really like the designs and a lot of what I'm seeing, and I have a lot of hype for it, but I'm definitely apprehensive about the anniversary elements. But I will say that it looks to be really interesting. Like, the premise sounds interesting, where I was thinking actually back to Geo, and then obviously you guys know I had a very mixed experience watching Geo, but at least there was a lot to talk about. Like, I like Boom Boomger fine, but after the initial, handful of episodes, and then when we get debuts, there's usually not a lot to talk about, like, week to week for episode reviews. It's like, oh, this week, like, Taya fought, and then they saved the kid. But, like, with the anniversary stuff and the storyline they have, it sounds like between the core story and whatever the anniversary elements, like, whatever takes shape with that, whether we see returning characters or if it's just soulless suits, there'll at least be, I think, a lot to talk about, and possibly maybe a different, like, structure to it, which I think could be refreshing. Like, I was just talking about my writer video, how I want to see them be experimental, and I've always thought it was a little bit disappointing that after a pretty good streak of a couple years being experimental, Boom Boomger wanted to go so back to basics. Although I do think there was some unique things about it. This maybe has the opportunity to have a different structure outside of the usual Sentai formula. Back to formula. So I hope we see that, and I hope I enjoy it and it's more balanced than I'm thinking. Like, obviously I'm always going to hope for it to be good. Can you imagine if I came to one of these like, I hope this year's Sentai sucks? No, but I hope it's good, and I hope they find a balance. Like, as far as going into next year, I would be shocked if they didn't do anything. Like, I know that they're celebrating it early, but I feel like you're not going to waste an opportunity to milk this even further. So they're probably not going to do this, but I saw somebody on one of my Gozyuger videos bring up, like, what if they did a 2-season thing? And, like, that would actually be kind of cool. Like, I don't see them doing, like, something where the Gozyugers lose their powers and then get new powers, like all of PR, or get, like, a new version of the suits, although I wouldn't mind that. But I think that would be kind of cool. Like, I actually was excited by the idea of when we thought Zenkaiger and Dawn Brothers was going to be more connected. I don't want to see that all the time, because I think the beauty of Sentai compared to PR is, like, why I like the differences is that even though PR is obviously anthology as well, is that it's one shared universe multiverse, so you're always thinking about how it all adds up, and Sentai Writer is just one of the worst continuities I've ever seen, but for the most part, it's supposed to refresh every year. And I like that, because, like, if you don't like one year, like, if you're not vibing with Boom Boomger, you'd be like, hey, there's a new flavor around the corner. But I don't think it's harmful to experiment every now and then. So if they wanted to do 2 seasons that were more interconnected because it was based on a larger anniversary plot, I think that'd actually be pretty cool. As sick as I am of anniversary content, I would not mind that. Like, do something like where maybe you keep a couple of the characters or the Gozyugers reoccur and you still get new suits, but they're tied together narratives. Again, not saying all of a sudden make it all connected, because Sentai's all connected and it's also not. But you know what I mean. Like, I wouldn't start a PR level continuity where everything builds on each other. But I think just for the 2 seasons, that could be kind of cool. I don't think they'll do it. But if they're not going to do something like that, my hope is for next year, they kind of do the reverse of what I would have done. I would have done something quieter for this season and then done the 50th on the 50th, like they always have. But just hope they do like a movie. Just do like a movie. Like, just make this, whatever the season is, just do it normal. Like, nobody shows up, just it's a normal season. And then do, like, some sort of cool movie for, like, to celebrate the 50th year or whatever. Just so that you don't get oversaturated. It's kind of like it's funny, my 2 wants are, like, either go all out and do 2 seasons or make 50 quiet. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope that it's balanced enough and the stuff is done well enough, like Gokaiger style, where it feels good and meaningful and not just like, oh, they're fighting over a misunderstanding and it's empty, soulless suits. But then as far as, like, beyond, I hope that they cool it after this. And I know I always say that, but I really do think they need to, as I would love for them to take a good long break. Like, they can do whatever they want in the movies and whatnot, and as I've said, I'd much prefer them do Returns movies when they can get them, whether it's the whole cast or maybe even just a couple characters. Like, what if you can only get, like, two people from Magi Ranger? I don't know. You could do, I wouldn't mind doing a story about two characters from that, but I would much rather see that where it's a meaningful revisit of characters than let's have them all team up because they all wear red, or oh, we gotta do a wizard crossover because they're rings. I'm like, no, we don't know. That's what I would prefer. It's just for whatever Returns is like just a Returns movie just about those characters and not teaming up based off of shallow, like they have the same theme thing. And if you want to celebrate, I don't know why you always have to celebrate every anniversary, but if you want to celebrate the anniversary of like Magi Ranger or something, don't put Magi Ranger in whatever the new Sentai is. Get them their own movie or do like a little mini webisode on the Superhero Club thing or whatever. Just leave it out of the main show and tell whatever you do for the next anniversary, like for the 60th, 55th, whatever you're doing, especially if they do something for 55 somehow. Don't do anything in between because it's going to ruin it. Like, again, I'm already sick of this stuff, but I really think that doing something, some form of legacy content, literally every series since the last anniversary series makes it seem even worse. Like, when Zenkaiger came around, I wasn't like, oh boy, another anniversary season because we've been, drowning us with crossovers for so long. But we hadn't done an anniversary season in Sentai since Gokaiger, so I was at least more open to it and curious to see how it would be similar and different to Gokaiger. But like after Zenkaiger, we did the Dawn Brothers thing where it wound up not being as involved as we thought, and like if it had just been Zenkaiger in there, that would have been fine. That's not a huge deal, Zenkaiger Black. But with the stupid Gokai changes in that, there was like no reason for that at all. They never acknowledged it at all. It was like, there didn't need to be there. Or like the other like little mini robot forms being legacy designs, that was like, why? It's just the dumbest. And then forcing Kyoryuger into King Oger, and then forcing these three cameos into Boom Boonger. Literally every season has had legacy content, and it makes this feel even less special. Like, I probably still would have been like too soon after Zenkaiger, but it feels like it's kind of like how a lot of people say, which I feel the same way, 2019 still feels like last year in my head. Kind of like the 1980s were going to perpetually feel like 20 years ago to me. But it just feels like Zenkaiger was yesterday because you didn't have a gap at all. It just kept going. So I really hope in the future that before whatever is after Gozyuger, I don't expect them to stop crossovers and whatever else in the movies and stuff, but in the show, keep it bare minimum so that when we do 55, 60, whatever, it feels like, oh, it's been a minute, That's what I hope. But overall, I just do hope that Gozyuger ends up being better than I'm expecting. Like, I'm not expecting it to be bad, I'm excited for it, but I'm hoping the anniversary elements are better than I'm expecting. And just as a last little note that has nothing to do with it, I still would like to see them do more Sentai Figuarts. We've had few and far between, they've all been really good, but I'd love for them to branch out a little bit. Like, I hope we see more variety, at least some more 6th and Reds, at least? But I don't know. What do you guys want to see out of Sentai in 2024 and beyond, or 2025 and beyond? Let me know in the comments, and as always, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.